Government collaborates with credit union to fulfill promise of retroactive payments of salary increases to public officers at the end of October. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Thursday, October 14th, I am Rakisha St. Louis. The government of Grenada will deliver on its promise of retroactive payments of salary increases for public officers at the end of October, 1 month after public officers began receiving their 4% increase. The retroactive payments will cover the period January to August 2021. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Mike Sylvester, said following negotiations with financial institutions, government will collaborate with a riser credit union to make payments totaling $4 million to public servants. The increases are due to public officers as part of the current industrial agreement between government and their bargaining agents and became due in January this year. Government first engaged the unions in 2020 when it analyzed the impact of the pandemic on revenue collection combined with the unplanned expenditure required and recognized that it would be a challenge to meet the 4% salary wage increase for public officers. Government therefore sought a deferral until the country's fiscal situation improved. Government initially offered the bonds directly to public officers, which meant they would receive the outstanding 7 months payment and an additional sum of 3%. However, the unions rejected the offer.
The salary adjustment happened in September, and there were discussions ongoing to facilitate the back pay at the end of October, and so we are well on our way to do that. We have been able to work with the riser credit union. They, in fact, would have held discussions and so on, and we are at the stage where they are actually in the process of paying into the bank accounts of persons hopefully before the end of this month.
He said the $4 million payment by a riser will not cover part of the pension payments, which will be paid through the government treasury.
All the workers are going to get paid by the end of October in terms of the back pay. So we're talking about the teachers, the police officers, the public officers, and so on. And of course, pensioners are going to get paid as well. I think that would offer well for basically moving forward. It doesn't cover the part of the pension, so that is going to pay through the treasury. But the bond that has been issued, the officers will be cashed in by the credit union, and the credit union will hold the bond for 1 year. And of course, at the end of the year, the government will pay the interest and the principal to whoever is holding that bond.
A riser will make the cash payments directly into the accounts of public officers at their respective financial institutions. The ceremonial state opening of the 5th session of the 10th Parliament of Grenada will be held from 10 a.m. on Friday. The highlight of the proceedings is the delivery of the throne speech by Governor General Dame Cecile Lagrenade, outlining some of the plans and policies of the government and giving an insight into some of its major successes. The ceremonial state opening will be broadcast live via GIS Channel 22, the GIS Facebook page, YouTube channel, and other major television and radio stations, as well as on social media. Over $300,000 worth of equipment was donated to the Ministry of Health on Thursday to assist in the fight against COVID-19. The donation was made as part of relief efforts by the God is Greater International Ministries, a non-profit corporation located in the United States, through Direct Relief International, a humanitarian aid organization active in all 50 states and more than 80 countries around the world. The donation includes oximeters, G5 concentrators, antibiotic medication, antiviral medication, painkillers, nebulizers, face shields, and masks. Founder and overseer of God is Greater International, Grenadian pastor Carol Augustine Lee, who is based in Texas, commended the leadership of Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and his government for their hard work and dedication during the fight against COVID-19. She is pleased with the reduction of positive cases on island over the past few weeks and warns against the perils of complacency.
I want to encourage each and every Grenadian to remain vigilant. Do not take the decline in the number of cases and in the deaths to mean that we are completely out of the woods, for we are not. This pandemic, with its threat to lives, is very much ongoing. And so as a people, we must continue to adhere to the protocol set in place so as to avoid another major outbreak. As Grenadians, as citizens of this world, we all have a part to play in completely eradicating this virus and its variants. And so it is my hope and prayer that what we are about to do today will help to ensure this robust response and turnaround to continue.
The items were presented to Honorable Delmer Thomas, Minister in the Ministry of Health, with responsibility for hospital and community health services.
On behalf of the government and people of Grenada, we really want to thank you and your team and Direct Relief and every other organization who was involved in ensuring that this very important and timely donation is given to a beautiful tri-island state of Grenada, Carriacou and Martinique. We want to make sure, or we want to pledge to you, that the support that you have given to us at the hospital services will be used for the purpose which it was intended for.
This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
Government, private sector, civil society, academia, farmers, the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry, in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization, invites you to World Food Day 2021, the virtual edition, under the theme, Our Actions Are Our Future, Better Production, Better Nutrition, a Better Environment, and a Better Life. Join us October 15 from 9:30 a.m. via Zoom, Facebook, GIS, and Real FM, as we recognize and celebrate the many successes of the agriculture sector.
Welcome back. Work is going according to plan on the Borie Feeder Road, one of 11 roads under construction in Phase 3 of the $46.8 million EC Agriculture Feeder Road project. On Wednesday, manager with Hanover Construction Company Limited, Peter Copperstone, gave the GIS an update on the progress of work.
So far, we've completed over 1,000 meters of curb and slipper drain. We've installed 3 major retaining walls. We're approximately 40% complete on the works. At the minute, we're working in conjunction with NAWASA to install a new 6-inch water main. The pipes will probably take another month to 2 months to complete. So we're doing the excavation works and we're doing the backfill works. NAWASA will install the pipe and then they will do the chlorination and the testing of the pipe to make the water main live. And after that process, we will start to scarify the road surface in preparation for sub-base, hopefully to try and get some asphalt on the road, especially at the top end soon.
Mr. Copperstone spoke of the next step following the installation of pipes.
So we're trying to maximise the road width wherever we can. So the widest points we're hoping to get about 6.5 metres. So that'll allow 2 big vehicles to pass easily. So the retaining walls vary. They approximately between 1.6 to 2 metres tall, and they are about between 15 to 20 metres long.
30 men are employed on the project, but that number could grow as work progresses. Finally, in the news, training continues for young parliamentarians as the Division of Youth prepares for another round of youth parliamentary sittings from the end of October. The division anticipates the staging of 6 sittings from October into March 2022. June Paul has more in this report.
Aspiring youth parliamentarians continues intense training ahead of the upcoming National Youth Parliament following a successful round of the 2021 Parish Youth Parliament sittings. Training facilitator Clifton Ned spoke of this year's successes and the opportunity provided to the youth in gaining experience through parliamentary proceedings.
This year's National Youth Parliament sittings follow a very successful round of Parish Youth Parliament sittings. So there were many outstanding performances at the parish level, and we wanted to give each of those persons an opportunity to participate at the national level because we believe that they have earned their place. And so we've been striving to refresh the youth parliament.
Ned says this year's parliament sittings will take a different format with emphasis placed on equipping the young people on parliamentary procedures with the hosting of 6 sittings which will be held during this period October 2021 to March 2022. According to Ned, these sittings will be done in an effort to refresh the youth parliament as done in the past with the hosting of sittings at both the upper and lower houses of parliament.
This year, in an effort to refresh the parliament, we've decided to use more of the parliamentary procedures which we have not used in the past, some of which are not often invoked even in our national parliament because of the current makeup of that house. We saw the casting vote being used at the parish sittings. We also saw an equally divided house in one of the parish sittings. We saw and explored the use of amendments to motions as well at the parish level. So we've decided that for national sittings, we will have 2 houses. We'll have an upper house and a lower house.
Ned also highlighted a few topics that will be debated as bills or resolutions.
In these sittings, we hope to consider the following 4 resolutions bills. A COVID pandemic youth recovery strategy, and this will be taken as a resolution. The Child Protection and Adoption Act, which we will take as a bill in the Youth Parliament. The Possessory Titles Act, which we will also take as a bill in the Youth Parliament. And we also hope to have a bill or a resolution, we haven't fully settled as yet, on the issue of youth participation and representation.
The first in the series of debates is scheduled for October 28th and forms part of the planned activities in commemoration of Youth Month 2021, which is observed during the month of October. The theme chosen for the Parliament sitting is, "Be it resolved that the National Youth Parliament do now approve the COVID-19 pandemic youth recovery and resilience strategy." Another activity that will be held during the month to observe Youth Month is a panel discussion that focuses on the youth perspectives on COVID-19 and vaccination. Reporting for the Division of Youth Development, I am June Paul.
Thank you, June. That story just ended the national report for Thursday, October 14th, recapping the top story. Government collaborates with a credit union to fulfill promise of retroactive payments of salary increases to public officers at the end of October. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.